Hello and welcome to this... Wait a second. Much better, I think. Actually not, because now it's too low. But anyway, you can at least see me. Yes. In today's video, we're going to take this humbucker and we're going to see if we can't turn it into a p90 sized humbucker. Because it's broken. You might be able to see that there are some hairs sticking out there. Don't worry, you'll see it soon when we take a closer look. And yeah, the thing is, if you remember when I switched out the pickups on my guitar that I call Mikey, you might have seen that I switched out for humbucker sized p90s. And we took a closer look at them there, and it's just, you know, basically this, but without one coil. And since this coil is broken, I was thinking we'd experiment and see what happens. So, let's get into it. So, here is the pickup. And as you probably can tell, here we have some wires sticking out. Now I could rewound this, but I think we'll experiment with taking it apart and turn it into a p90. And in worst case scenario, I'll just go back, put it back together, and just rewound it. But I feel like this is a more interesting experiment to see what happens. And this is a inexpensive pickup, so if it doesn't turn out exactly the way I was intended to turn out, then you know, it's not the end of the world. But we start out by taking out these screws on the back. There they are. Now we can lift everything off this plate. We have a little bit of a wire going here, so let's cut that off. We can resolder it later. There we go. Okay, so here is the pickup. Let's start off by removing this, like so, and untwist them, like so, and cut these wires down a little bit, like so. And first off, let's take this and put it to the side, like so. And then let's take this and just take a closer look here, because that's always nice to do. We'll remove this tape. Sometimes when you have a pickup, you just have the wire being broken and it's sort of disconnected from the soldered on wire part that is going to the pickup. And then you can just fix it very easily. But sometimes you have a real mess like this where I don't know, you know, it's impossible really to tell how many breakage this is, but there are quite a lot of them, as you can see. Hopefully it is a little bit hard to see, so if you can't, I'm sorry, but yeah, these wires are very thin. But here is one breakage, and here is another one, and here's another one, here is another one. And so yeah, I don't see this ever being fixed. I mean, without putting on new wire. We might be able to solve this if we do something else. But for now, I think this is just gonna have to be put to the side so that we can do something fun with it some other time if we want to. This one, on the other hand, we can take a look at. Now, before we do anything more, we should really fix this little thing right here. So I'll start off by soldering iron, and I'll find something to strip this back with, and I'm gonna use this scissor right now, but that's just because for some reason I can't find anything else. So something like that, just strip it back a little bit. And the reason why we're stripping it back is because then we can solder this on here, and that's the lead connection, and that will be the ground connection. And so we can just cut some of this off my in frame a little bit, remove that. So let's take our flux first, because we might need some flux. And let's dip this in some flux. That was maybe a little bit much. And that end as well. And then we take our solder and our soldering iron. We'll let a little bit melt into the tip. so we have a little bit on it. And then we can just melt it into these two and let them melt together, like so. It's not the prettiest, but it doesn't have to be the prettiest right now. First thing we have to do is take our multimeter and move it over to the ohms, which is there. We'll put it to 20K because that's the lowest I have when it comes to the K. And then we'll just attach these little alligator clippers to this wire that I have right here, and hopefully we get a reading. If we don't get a reading, then this coil is also broken, which it might be. It doesn't look like that without taking the tape off, but I feel like if I measure it and it works, I don't have to take the tape off. And as you can see, I get a value of 6.44. So this works. And 6.44 is a pretty good single coil pickup. So I think we're going to go with that. First off, if we're going to mount this back in, but on the middle, we need to take these locator pins off. So that's easily done, like so. And then I'm gonna, with a razor blade, just very carefully just flatten this out a little bit, because I didn't get perfectly flat with the bobbin when I cut them. So something like this will make them sit very nice. And here we have two magnets, and if I hold these two sides together, they will connect. That means that they are opposite poles. If I do this, they won't. So I'm going to put them on each side like this, and I'm going to take this plate and just see if I can get it to lie neatly, to see if everything will sort of line up like so. And as you can probably tell, it's not perfect. So what I need to do is I need to remove one of the magnets. They are the same thickness, so I don't need both. But if I put this up against this, I can tell that these bobbins are sticking up a little bit too much. So I'm gonna push these through a little bit more. So they'll stick up on this side a little bit more, but they'll be a little bit more flat. So let's take a piece of wood like this, and let's align it so that this lies just on top of them with a little bit of a space in between. Now we should be able to push them, which you can probably see me do, or at least I hope you can. I just push on them, and by having the other thing on each side, I can basically move them like so. But what I need to do now is make sure that this magnet lines up with these, so that it's not uneven or weird looking. So I'm just gonna press it up to the magnet and just eyeball it for now. I can always give them all a little bit of a squeeze once I'm happy and everything is lining up. Something like that. I hope you can see what I've done, like that. And the other magnets will fit perfectly on the opposite side like that. And it all looks flush. Now these magnets have a little bit of dirt on them, so I'm just going to clean them off a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, so it's about time to put down the magnets. And just to make sure things stay where I want it to stay and, you know, isn't jumping around, I'm just going to put down a very thin slice of double-sided tape on each side. So I put it down, I press it into place with the back of a screwdriver, like so, and I cut the next. Alright, let's see if we can take this protective tape thing off. There we have it. Here we have the magnets, and again, this is how they stick together. So if I move this over like so, it doesn't want to. That means that these poles are the same and not opposites. So let's just put this down here and put this one right here. so, and just give it a little bit of a squeeze, like so. And here you can see the kind of weird thing that we've created. Double magnet from the side, kind of a single coil. I've also changed, which maybe is obvious, but if it's not, I just want to say it. These are Alnico 5s, and this is a ceramic magnet, which is another kind of mod you can also do if you want to. Alright, so here is the plate that we're going to mount this back on to. And what we need to do is we need to re-drill these holes, but on a center line, because the holes that this is on are now in the middle of this. And so, first off, we need to take this measurement right here and split it in half. Then we can use the other end to mark it out. So one up here and one down here, and then we double check so that we know that we, for some weird reason, are off a little bit. And then we can just take this and our hand and lock it together, create a center line like so. Take something straight like a razor blade, and we can connect the two outer like so. Do the same thing up here, and we'll do the same here as well. And this pen is very bad. Like so, and then with it all, I'll just press in the middle here on both sides. And as you can see on the other side here now, we have a little bit of a bump up. That means that by having pressed in a little mark there, the bit when we drill won't run away from us and drill somewhere else. I have to drill a 2mm hole, it seems like. So I'll be right back once I've drilled those holes. So here it is now, and I can remove the tape because obviously we don't want it there, because that wouldn't look nice. I also deburred it with a bigger drill bit on both sides, just to not have anything silly sticking out. And now we can take two of our screws, the screwdriver, wow, and our pickup, and we can try to align them. And then let's double check these magnets so that they are pressed up against. And because they can sort of move easily, because you can see the spacing here, I'm going to see if I can find something. Okay, so I cut some lollipop sticks to size, as you can see, or at least hopefully, because I'm doing a stupid thing. I just cut them to size and pushed them in to place, basically, like so. And yeah, I mean, we're basically done, except one thing. Gonna take a little bit of flux. I'll use my owl as some sort of applier, and I'm just gonna smear it in right there. And it's probably going to be a little bit too much, but that's okay for now. Right there, into that little groove right there. And then we're going to take the soldering iron, and we're just going to take our solder, and we're just going to melt it together, and we're just going to melt this into the plate, basically. So I'm just going to try to attach this here to the plate, something like that. And then once the wire is attached, we have to do two things with our multimeter before we call it a day. First thing is, let's get an ohms reading on the pickup. Be sure that we haven't broken it, because that would suck. So here's the pickup, and here's the multimeter. I'm going to attach one over here, like so, and then the other here. And we get that 6.62, which is because we added magnets. It looks good. Then let's also move this over to continuity mode, which is the little symbol right there. I hope you can see it there. Which means that if something goes through to one of these to the other, we get continuity. And if we do get continuity, we hear a sound. I hope you can hear that. And we'll put one here on the ground, and then we'll touch the base plate with the other one to see we get a sound. Something like that. There we have the pickup. And it's all done. So yeah, I'm going to put a little bit of super glue because I noticed that this one is moving a little bit. So I'm going to put a little bit of super glue on that one. And yeah, I have it right here. And I'm just going to open this up and press it in like so. On both sides. It's looking good. It's looking cool. It's looking fabulous. I don't know. Well, next thing to do would be to add some sort of cover, but first I want to make sure it sounds nice and that it's actually worth the trouble of either buying a cover for or modding an already existing cover and making something personalized. I don't know, but it's not a part of this video. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe you learned something. Maybe you have pickups that are old and broken and that you feel like it's a waste to throw them away. So yeah, then you can do something like this. And if you want to see me make a wooden pick guard for this, or pick cover, I suppose you'd call it, for example, or something else, if you have any cool ideas, let me know in the comments below, and maybe we can do that. But for now, let's go and listen to this pickup and hear it and see what it sounds like. If you've been subscribed for a while, you understand that joke. It's never going away. If you're new here, press the like and the subscribe. If you like the video but you're already subscribed, press the like and talk to me in the comments below if you have any questions or if you just want to tell me what you think of the pickup. Let me know if you think it's a good idea to make broken humbuckers into working p90s. Let me know if you think p90 humbuckers are a good kind of pickup or if you prefer regular p90s or maybe Jazzmaster p90s. There are a couple of different pickups under the umbrella of p90s, and they're actually all pretty different, so I don't know, maybe that's something we should solve at some point. But I've spoken enough now. This outro I mean doesn't have to be that long. I'm gonna go play this and you are gonna stay awesome and cool, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. You can go now. No?